Anthony from the Timepiece Gentleman has a warrant issued for his arrest. And what does his last video posted about a week ago on his channel really mean about the $5 million of losses moving forward? I told myself I wasn't going to do another video on Anthony until I watched this video that I will link right up above, where it explains that Anthony has a bench warrant issued for his arrest. Now, this is not what you guys think. It is not for the fraud, the $5 million in fraudulent theft that he committed against like 40 people who trusted him to their valuable goods. It's not for that. It is most likely for a DUI that was already on the books. Now, I am a police officer in the 9th District, which includes Alaska, Washington, Oregon, and California. So we all fall under the same purview. Now, as a law enforcement officer, I deal with court stuff all the time. I do my own warrants, misdemeanor, felony, and I understand how the system works. So I'm doing this video because when I saw that, I thought, you know what, let me bring some information to the table. Then I watched his last video because I really wanted to get rid of the foul stench that Anthony leaves on everybody he comes in contact with. So I was going to walk away, but I looked at his last video and I thought, you know what, let me do a video on that as well. So let's talk about the bench warrant that was issued for his arrest. Now, the video that I will link down below to include Anthony's last video, also in the description. Now, if you can go on websites like CourtView to include the LA County court system, and you can see what's on the docket, right? And it looks like Anthony has a bench warrant issued for his arrest for a prior DUI and a court date that was canceled. Now, the court date was for his DUI, it seems, and it looks like the bench warrant issued for his arrest was for his DUI, like I just said. Now, the reason why this stuff happens is because a judge will see a defendant, which is someone who has charges brought against them, they will see the defendant as a possible flight risk or an issue to the public, which means that there are other charges possibly coming down the line, and they see them as a possible flight risk or almost like a nuisance to the public, like they're going to continue to commit crimes. So what they'll do is they'll pull the court date, they'll issue a warrant for his arrest, so then he'll be arrested and go into jail and then released with conditions of release. Conditions of release are things that he needs to abide while walking around as a free man with a court date. So what it seems like they did was issued a warrant for his arrest so that he could be arrested and probably be released on these conditions. One of which is to obey all court, federal, state, and local laws. That's always number one at the top of all conditions of release, so he can't commit any more crimes. Even if he did something like commit a trespass and he gets arrested for, which is something you'd get paperwork for on a court date, he would actually go to jail violating conditions of release. Now, this is very well explained in the comments of that video that I posted. I just wanted to give you a quick thought when it came to a law enforcement point of view. Now, I'm sure that's what happened. He has had some issues in the past. He is a 2-time felon, and the DUI probably was just something he was going to show up to court for, but then a judge said, you know what? You admitted to $5 million of theft, and I know the district attorney is probably eventually going to seek charges on you. So because you have the propensity to commit crimes, we're going to go ahead and cancel the court date, get a warrant, and put you on these conditions of release. He may sit in jail. His bail may be so much he can't afford it. It's really hard to say. LA County and California has very high bail compared to a place like Washington or Alaska. So it's hard to say moving forward. Now let's talk about his last video. His last video, look, when I watched it with an open mind. He had released 5 videos, took down the 5th video, like day 5, and he was going to record every single day while he's trying to regain and reallocate people's money that he had stolen. $5 million is a lot to make back, and he just, I owe $5 million. Well, it's not that you just owe $5 million. You stole $5 million, and you have to pay it back just to break even again. And you don't even just have to pay it back. This is where I think people started getting misconceptions, and they're like, look, give Anthony a chance. He's trying to do his best. Look, he stole $5 million. He admitted to stealing $5 million from his clients who trusted him. Well, Anthony was entrusted by his clients to do the right thing, and he didn't. So he started releasing these videos day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. He pulled day 5 apparently.
It's not fun. Obviously the situation that I've created is not a fun situation, but even every attempt that I make to try to fix it or make it right is being scrutinized and it's being pushed back against. And people, like I said, I go, I have a dealer reach out or a jeweler reach out willing to help and kind of, help me turn this situation around. Now they get negative press. They get negative blowback, people blowing the store up and stuff like that for nothing.
And on day 6, it was, "This is my last video of YouTube." Now, it makes me wonder if it's his last video of YouTube because his attorney told him he was going to have to go to jail for a while. So instead of admitting to the jail time or being arrested for the DUI bench warrant, instead he was like, you know what? Things are getting a little tough. People are complaining too much. All this negativity. I'm just trying to do the right thing and nobody will give me work and nobody will give me product to sell. So woe is me. I'm going to get off of YouTube for a while. This is my last video. And it makes me wonder if he only did that to cover up the fact that he'd probably be in jail for anywhere from 1 month to 6 months. If he is found guilty of the DUI, he may have to serve some jail time then, but he may just end up sitting in jail until the trial for the DUI or a plea deal, and then he gets released on time served, and then maybe he does probation. But all that being said, it makes me wonder if the reason he released that last video was because he's going to be in jail for a while. So that's theory number 1. That's just a theory. And then when I started listening to it and he started to complain about the fact that people are being too harsh on him, he thought he could handle it, it's affecting his business, it made it difficult for businesses that he wanted to work with that were willing to give him a chance. It was difficult on them because there's so much negativity on everything that happened. And it reminds me of the smallest violin and the lowest corner of my heart of who gives a damn. He stole $5 million from his clients, and you haven't earned back anybody's respect.
I'm not hiding and I'm not running from that debt. I'm still doing everything I can to pay for it, but it's obvious, it's apparent that there's a large community out there that doesn't want that to happen. They would rather me in my life, end up in prison, do whatever it takes to not be able to pay you guys back.
And if you're going to burn the town around you and then look around and wonder why the houses aren't just rebuilt immediately, well, you haven't even put in any work to show anybody anything else. So the woe is me mentality really got me really fired up and stirred up. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do the last video right now, because he also said he was going to get out of the watch selling industry, maybe, possibly, probably.
I haven't 100% made the commitment yet. I'm almost there though, but I think that it's just time I get out of this industry and move on to the next.
Because it's just going to be too hard. Nobody ever is going to woe is me, trust me again, and I may do something else. And then it started to make me wonder about his scheming gears in his brain and what he has next going, because he still says he's going to pay back the $5 million, but how is he going to do it? He's not going to pay back the $5 million working at Home Depot for $22 an hour. So how is he going to do it? It makes me wonder if he's going to reemerge in a month or 2 months or 3 months, and then he's going to now be a real estate mogul where he's selling $1 million houses on YouTube, because that's just the next big thing that people will click on. Anyway, stay tuned. I'm going to be looking for those videos because you know they're going to come. He's going to come out with something. Have you ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street? He probably thinks that he is similar. Oh, I had all this money. I had this lifestyle. I ended up getting caught, thrown in jail for my problems, and then I reemerged to be a self-help guru where I can make millions on that back end. Just wait for it, because it's coming down the line. Now, this is the last video I'm going to do until he reemerges. I'm not going to cover this anymore. I do mostly watch reviews with some random stuff sprinkled in between. Most of the watch reviews I do here are more affordable alternatives to the luxury versions, but I also do luxury watch reviews on this channel as well. Anyway, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment of the content you guys want to see. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me. I really don't care. I just love the banter back and forth, and I will see you guys in the next one.